have it out. Reneth. Welcome to Talking Saratoga, a weekly podcast with insight on the latest news, debate, and discussion from Saratoga Springs, a city that has never suffered from a shortage of opinions. I'm Robin Dalton, a New York City girl turned Saratogian with 4 little kids running around on Caroline Street, a city council veteran, and I'm here with Dan DeFederici, a native of Buffalo, a husband and father of 2 beautiful girls, a past police union president, a lawyer, an attorney of the publisher of the Saratoga Report. And how long were you in the New York State Police, Dan? Remind us.
23 years total, just under 23.
23 years total, pretty impressive. We are also usually joined by Adam Israel, who is our native Saratogian and our local business owner, also a father of 2, but he is in Poland right now, as we know, helping with the Ukrainian aid effort. So before we get on to our first subject and bring in our first guest, Maddie Zanetti, I just want to remind everyone that the opinions and ideas expressed on Talking Saratoga are our own and do not represent any other group or organization. So that being said, why don't we bring in Maddie Zanetti, our first guest. Welcome, Maddie. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. Thanks for having me here today.
Thank you for joining us. Dan, why don't you let us know why we wanted to bring Maddie on today and tell us a little bit about what she's doing here in Saratoga that we were so excited about.
Certainly. A lot of you know that Maddie Zanetti is one of the co-owners of Impressions of Saratoga, as well as the Dark Horse, 2 downtown retail establishments, making our downtown strong, by the way. Thank you. And they're great stores to go to. Impressions is a must-stop for my daughter. They're cheering that on.
we have dogs in our office too.
No, we're very dog friendly. It's a very pet friendly show.
Yes. And so Maddie, I'll jump right into it. You and your partner Mare are doing some great things to help sell T-shirts, and I think they're behind you. And I won't steal too much of your thunder. To help refugees from the Ukraine. Why don't you explain to the viewers just what you're doing and how they can help?
Yeah, so we about 2 weeks ago decided we wanted to do something to help, and T-shirts are our specialty. So Mare and I both designed our own T-shirts and came back to each other, and we were like, you know what, we like both designs. Everyone here at the store that day liked both designs. They do kind of appeal to 2 different people. So we were like, let's just try doing both and we'll see how it goes. We ordered in just under 400 shirts. And our goal was to hit $5,000. We have sold out of almost every shirt already and have over 5,000. So we made a donation already for $5,000 on Monday, and we reordered another 400 shirts. So we had the 2 designs. This one here was the one that I did. That's about overcoming the odds and dark times and dark horses, and that incorporated Ukraine being the underdog, and we thought that it had a great message, plus having the horse there, it kind of brought it to Saratoga, but still was mainly about Ukraine, which is what we want it to be. And then Mare's over here, she designed this one with the sunflower and glory to Ukraine, their call to action. And we just thought they were both so different and appealed to 2 different crowds. And we honestly have sold pretty much evenly of both shirts. So when we did the reorder, we reordered both shirts as well. We have a wait list of people that are waiting for certain sizes that aren't in yet, and they're all coming back in tomorrow. So we'll have another 400 shirts tomorrow.
That's terrific. You set a goal and you blew right through it, didn't you? That initial goal.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Oh, you set a goal of $5,000 and you blasted right through that, didn't you?
Oh yeah, well that's what we thought. We were like, let's try the 5,000, we'll see. And we hit that over the weekend. So after about 4 days of selling shirts, we'd already hit that. So then we were like, let's do 10,000, and we think that we're going to hit that as well. So our plan is every Monday morning we will make a donation to the International Red Cross Ukraine Relief Funds. So we'll just once a week we'll donate whatever amount we've sold, and then we'll make an announcement to everyone, via social media and everything, of what we've raised that week.
Maddie, I just have to tell you that I saw on Facebook, I think that you were doing this initially, and you were taking pre-orders. And it meant so much to me because I knew that we were doing, there were a lot of little small things that were happening, and we were all kind of trying to pitch in and think of creative ways to help the Ukrainians. And then when I saw you guys selling T-shirts, it just like meant so much to me. And then now, like hearing on the I like didn't think I was gonna have a podcast and be like emotional on it. It's like so embarrassing for me because I'm usually like dead inside emotionally. But especially when it comes to this issue, to hear you tell everybody that you set that goal and like blaze through that goal so quickly, and that there's so many people in our community who are so willing and ready to support the Ukrainians. It just means so much to me, and it means so much to me that you guys did this. And
thank you. Yeah.
No, all the thanks goes to you. And Dan, I'm sure you probably feel the same way, but I often think of downtown business, and when I think of downtown business, like Maddie, you come to mind, like your face comes to mind. You've been such an anchor of our downtown business community for so long with both of your stores. And so I just thank you for everything you do for our downtown community. I mean, you really are a leader in our downtown business. You really are. I mean, Dan, I'm sure you would agree with me.
Absolutely.
But you've been doing it for so long, and your family does so many great things with Saratoga, and this is just another great thing to put on the list. So I know
thank you very much. I
appreciative.
appreciate that.
How you said you got more shirts coming in. How can people that are both here, that's probably somewhat obvious, that are living in town here, how about people that are not living here? How can they help? How can they get a shirt and donate?
Yeah, we have an online store, so we ship every day. And honestly, the first few days, a lot of shirts were shipped out. Now, we've got people coming in because they're picking them up, or they did a pre-order, or they heard about it, so they're coming and pick it up. But we ship every single day, and we've shipped probably over 75 different shipments of shirts to people. And so you can go to impressionsaratoga.com. There's links on both our social media, like Instagram, Facebook. They all have the links there to go to it. So you can order one online and we can ship it. People do just call the store and place orders over the phone, and we take the order over the phone, or people stop in. And we've got, some people who, they have come in and bought shirts for one group and sent them there, or gave them out, and then someone from that group has then called or come in. And so you can definitely see the ripple effect of people from all over getting the shirts, and we've sent them all over the country already, which has been wonderful.
Wow.
Amazing. I'm like, a phone, what is this phone that you speak of that people can order with?
Oh, I know. Yeah. Well, that's what, whenever we try to call a customer, they'll be like, they'll email us back, and we're like, we tried calling because it'd be faster. But yeah, everyone would rather email or send a Facebook message or something like that.
Well, we're talkers. We're big talkers, so we appreciate the calls. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up real quick because I know we have a lot to cover today. Maddie, unless there's anything else, or Dan, if there's anything else you wanted to add.
Yeah, but we're sticking with Maddie for a minute. And Maddie, we were going to ask you to put your retail hat on for a minute, right, Robin? We want to ask you a couple things about downtown retail and so forth.
Oh, yes. I mean, I don't, if you're up for this, and if you're not, feel free to let me know. But we had been talking about, obviously there's been a lot going on with Caroline Street, and also there's been a lot going on with outdoor dining. So we wanted to see if you wanted to weigh in on either subject, on either the kind of proposal to make Caroline Street a mini SPAC area, and then also the proposal to extend this outdoor dining for the next 3 years. I just wanted to know if you had any opinions on either one, but again, I don't want to put you on the spot, and you're here to talk about Ukraine, so it's entirely up to you.
And I can add to that to give a more generalized thing. It's spring. Even as cold out as it is today, you and I just bumped into each other on the sidewalk, and I'm feeling the people. I mean, here we are on a Wednesday morning. We were on a Wednesday morning, and there were people out. You just sort of sense it. So if you want to talk generically about that end of the retail, but whatever you're.
Yeah, so I'm comfortable talking about all of it because we get asked all the time. People come here, they'll read something in Saratoga Today, and then they come here and ask our opinion. And so we're always talking about it. But we honestly, the first nice day, there's always a ton of people in that are just happy to be in and just be walking around downtown and everything. But we have definitely seen the uptick in foot traffic. People are starting to get their homes ready for rentals or just for friends coming for track season, because the last 2 years, a lot of people haven't had their friends visiting for track season and everything. So they're coming in to get their Saratoga pillow or their Saratoga wall hanging and decors and stuff like that to get ready for summer. And they're, like you said, the energy every few weeks, the energy increases going up to racing season. So we are definitely feeling that, and we're in that crunch of, ordering and making sure all of our new stuff is here and getting ready for summer. So that is definitely a big part. And the weekends, if you've got a sunny Saturday, it's just so busy down here, and it's like a summer day. People are out and they're just so happy to be out. It's like a positive, energy right now where everyone's just like, yay, we're outside and we can move around and enjoy it. And so on that, I think that the outdoor dining has been a great addition to downtown, and I think that it's great for the restaurants. Like on a personal level, and being part of the Preservation Foundation and the Historical Society and everything, I would love it if people could, if there was some regulations about what the outdoor dining looked like. Also, how much space of the sidewalk. I know that, you can't take up the whole sidewalk, but as you saw when I was walking today with Mare, we have 5 dogs. So we take up a lot of room on the sidewalk, and sometimes once the outdoor dining gets there, it's hard for, if you're coming one direction and maybe someone with a stroller is coming the other direction, it can be hard to get down the street. And I know that a huge thing would be to close parts of the streets, and there's a lot of different ways things to be done. But that is a concern that I have, is how much narrower the sidewalks get when the patios come out. But I think that part of what makes our downtown so special is the historical feel and the ambiance, the architecture and everything we have. So hopefully when business owners are planning their patios and planning the look for what they're putting out, they are taking that into consideration. And I think, like Boca Bistro, Wheatfields, they all do a great job of that. They really try to match the downtown, and even like Cooperstown Distillery, when they just put out their new patio, they did a good job of making it look like something that would be in Saratoga Springs. It looks really good there. So that's always a concern that I have, because I always feel like I want everything to look like old Saratoga and historical, and I'm sometimes like a curmudgeon about that, I think. And then Caroline Street, we definitely have our concerns. We aren't on the corner of Caroline and Broadway, and I am thankful for that after the past 2 years. It's a great location because people are walking by there every day, but we are so fortunate to just be that 1 block away, because it's definitely changed the feeling there if you're walking down that way, especially, mostly at night, if you're down there, after midnight or something, which I am in bed by then, so I'm not.
You're not out ripping it up at 1 a.m, Maddie.
Yeah, but I am a very early morning person. I normally, in the summers especially, I normally stop at the store every morning. Both stores, I normally stop at them before 5 a.m, and so I usually see the tail end of the Caroline Street stuff. Yeah, and I do think that it's a concern that needs to be addressed. I am not sure because I'm not there and I don't have the personal experience, if closing the road would help or hinder, but I definitely want the police and the employees of all of the bars to feel safe down there. And also, we are open till 11 in the summers, and we have 14, 15-year-old employees. I want them and their families to feel safe that their kids are here working. We don't leave a kid here alone if they're 15 years old. They're not alone in the store, but still that they feel safe downtown here at 10 or 11 at night. And right now, some families don't feel safe having their kids down here, which I understand. We walk everyone to their cars or drive them to their cars. We never do anything where one person is going to their car by themselves. And we are considering changing our hours a little so that our employees feel safer. And we've talked with the police about that, and they've, we work with Glenn a lot, and he's just always so helpful. And,
Glenn, just so people know, is Officer Glenn Barrett, just from the police department. If people don't know who we're talking about, I know.
He's the one that's on the horse or the bike. He's always doing cool stuff. Yeah.
He's a
So,
wonderful community police officer.
Yeah, he is. So he's always been a great resource for us. And we definitely think that something needs to be done on Caroline Street. And we know that we're in a community where people are going to work together and find a solution. I know, talking with some of the bar owners down there, that they are really working hard to come up with a solution.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate your thoughts on that, a lot. I really do. And I agree with so much of what you just said. And I think, the important thing is that we're all aware that this is a priority and we have to come at it with creative solutions. And I think that's hopefully the conversations that are happening now, so that by the time we get to the summer, we can all feel a little more secure and we don't have necessarily a repeat of last summer, which was not good. In terms of the nightlife, not necessarily in terms of the business, but in terms of the nightlife. So I thank you for that. Dan, do you have anything else to add?
No, good luck again on the shirt sales. It's terrific. I need to get one. I will be down there tomorrow. You're going to get a new shipment in?
Yeah, tomorrow we'll be getting a shipment in, so we'll have both stores restocked by tomorrow afternoon. I know Robin already placed her order, so she's got her shirt.
Yeah, I gotta come pick mine up after that. Yeah.
I will be in this week. That is for sure.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maddie. It was wonderful having you on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks. Have a great day, you guys.
Thanks so much. Hello, Dan the Man. It's back, the two of us. I know we have.
That was great, by the way. She was
that
great.
was wonderful. Wonderful.
And we gave her limited heads up of what we wanted to talk about, and she just knocked it out of the park.
I know. And we do always try to be sensitive about making sure we prepare a guest for what they're going to talk about before they come on. So I appreciate Maddie kind of rolling with it like that. It was great, but she really does represent the voices of so many businesses downtown, and so those were great opinions to have.
And real quick, I'm going to give it a plug. You've probably been to Impressions. You may not have been to the Dark Horse. It's a different kind of story.
It's awesome.
I love them both. If you haven't been to either, you got to go and the ones you haven't been into, you got to go into. And now that Easter is coming, you really ought to get back to Impressions. Yeah,
and just so people know, the Dark Horse is on the west side of Broadway. So it's on the west side of Broadway, just north of like Putnam. It's in this kind of little trio of stores where Piper is and the donut store is. That's right where the Dark Horse is as well.
And Darling Donuts is somewhere in there, right?
Yes, but yes, Darling Donuts is right in there. So you can pretty much get like one-stop shop and get everything you need in that little stretch.
Close.
Anyway, moving right along. I know we have Samantha Bosshart, who is the executive director of the Preservation Foundation, on with us. Samantha, are you there?
Hi, yes, I am.
Hello, ma'am. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Dan, do you want to intro Sam and let viewers know why she's on today and what we were going to talk about?
Sure. Samantha Bosshart of Saratoga Preservation Foundation. And we've talked about in the past on this show the proposed building for 269 Broadway. I guess you could say it's somewhat controversial, right? I guess any big new building in the downtown area is going to have two sides of an issue, but this one is certainly falls within that. And it's back in the news because, Samantha, correct me if I'm wrong, it's going to go to the planning board Thursday night?
Correct. It returns to the planning board tomorrow night through, and it's a Zoom meeting.
Okay, and I don't want to steal too much of your thunder, so I'll loop it in at the end. But folks, this is the large multi-use building, 6 stories, Samantha?
Yes.
Okay, right next to Spa Catholic, across from Park Place condos, the condos adjacent to Congress Park, that's proposed there, and it's a large building that's going to really loom over Spa Catholic, as well as the other buildings there. And Samantha, that's my lead into you to talk about where the Preservation Foundation is on that. And I will point out, in case you forget to, you said to me earlier today, we're not against big projects. We're not. It's just we have some specific issues with this one. If that's a correct lead, in, please take it from there.
I'm going to interrupt really quick, guys. Before we even get into that, Samantha, can you tell us what you do in your capacity as executive director of the Preservation Foundation? Because I know most people know, but in the off chance someone is listening who doesn't know, I just think it's important for them to understand your job before we get into this specific conversation.
Sure. So I'll just give you a tiny bit of background. The Saratoga Springs Preservation Foundation was founded 45 years ago. We are actually in April celebrating our 45th anniversary. And so it's a big milestone for us. Our mission is to preserve and enhance the architectural, cultural, and landscape heritage of Saratoga Springs. And we do that through education, technical assistance, restoration, and advocacy. And so we promote best practices, best preservation practices before our land use boards, and most often with the Design Review Commission, since that most typically looks at historic buildings, new construction, and demolition in our historic districts. And we provide an advisory opinion to the land use boards, and as a private nonprofit membership-based organization.
Thank you. And Dan, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just wanted to make sure people knew where Samantha was coming from before we dove into the proposed building. So anyway, carry on.
I'm glad you did that.
No problem.
So with any project that's being proposed in one of in our historic districts, we will look at those proposals as they're submitted to the land use boards. We've been reviewing this particular application for, I would say, 2 years. What, like Dan said earlier, we don't oppose new development. That is not, we have never said no to a project. We have said no to, or not said no, I would say, encourage design changes. And that's what we have advocated with this building. The foundation has concerns about its height, scale, and mass. And particularly along Broadway. And we have voiced those concerns before the Design Review Commission. And, we will reiterate those concerns to the planning board as they are atypically, the Design Review Commission approves a project after the planning board does. And in this strange instance, the planning board asked for the DRC to provide their approval in advance of their approval. The Design Review Commission had, to my memory, the closest vote on record for a large development here in our downtown, with a 4-3 vote in favor as it is currently proposed. It will return back to the Design Review Commission for final details, but that's sort of where we're at.
On the scale and mass that you mentioned, could you explain to the viewers a little more specific of what's some of the issues are that make it inappropriate, I guess would be the word?
I think it's a rather large block that is next to, the Spa Catholic High School, which is a relatively small 2-story building, and has a 2-story building on the other side of the building, MBT Bank. So, that really doesn't happen very often. You would typically look at, the buildings adjacent to the proposed development. Not to say that you can't be successful at having a tall building next to a shorter building, but that's one concern. But it's overall, it's a rather large square box. Other large developments that take place in Saratoga are successful because either the top floor is set back or it has variations in the facade, the setbacks of the facade. It has, gives it some different, doesn't sort of reduces that appearance of a large box.
So I'm gonna jump in for a sec, because usually we have someone here who would maybe be arguing in support of this building. So I'm gonna take that devil's advocate position right now, not because necessarily it's my opinion, but just because I want to make sure we're being fair. So the first thing that comes to mind for me is you look across the street at Park Place, the condominiums that Bonaccio built onto the side of Congress Park. to me, it's a pretty big building. It abuts our park. In fact, I think it takes up some of our park. And so if I were arguing on behalf of this new proposal, I would say, well, if you think it's big in scale, look across the street. It seems to be not as enormous as it's being described if you look in comparison to what's across the street. So if I was making that hypothetical argument, what would you?
I think it's an argument that at first glance it seems like an easy comparison. The building at Park Place actually is set back about 20. I want to say it's set back 6 feet from the sidewalk. This building will not be set back at all from the sidewalk. In addition to that initial 6 feet, the primary facade of Park Place is set back in some places as far back as an additional 14 feet. So, and it has those variations in the facade with balconies, and it really runs more this is a how should I say this? The proposed building is while they have this easement with the Spa Catholic High School, it's a rather narrow and long, and whereas I would say Park Place is sort of is longer in width and sort of
fits with the landscape a bit more.
It fits a bit more with the landscape.
Yeah.
I mean, and so I guess that's where I would say that I agree that at first glance, Park Place could be a comparison, but if you really take a closer look at that building, you'll see the setbacks, you'll see the balconies, you'll see the different variations in the facade, and it really helps to break up the mass of that building.
If
I lost you guys for a minute. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. And I just want to point out, we did reach out to the attorneys for the developers. Samantha, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, Robin, I'll keep talking for a minute. Look, I've got the show to myself. Adam's not
Guys,
hearing you.
I'm not hearing you at all, unfortunately.
Okay, I'll talk. We did invite the attorneys for the developers on today's show. As of about 10:30 this morning, they did not get back to me. I did get a phone call since then that I couldn't retrieve, so it's possible they tried to get back. But if they so choose, we could probably have them on in a future show, because we do try to give both sides of the issue. But Robin asked a fair question. If Samantha, assuming this project continues on, and you did touch on that, so if you could reiterate a little bit, from this point to shovels in the ground, what has to happen for this to go through? You said it'll go to the planning board tomorrow night, then the design review for final approval. Then does the city council, and Robin could answer this as well if she could hear me. So I'll ask you, what is the?
No, I mean, those are the next two steps.
Okay.
Once the planning board signs off on it, then it will go back to the design review commission for final approval.
Okay. And I didn't ask you this ahead of time, or I didn't give you a heads up I'd ask this, so sorry if I'm catching you off guard, but are there other things besides 269 Broadway? Obviously, there's a lot of other things you have going on, but anything else you'd like to bring up that's a down the road thing, something people should keep an eye on, other projects that are forthcoming and so forth?
I believe there'll be a new project. I believe there's a new project being proposed at 120 South Broadway. So that, I don't know the timeline for that. Inevitably there'll be new construction, I'm sure, in that corridor that we'll see proposals for.
Is that the Turf and Spa, or where are we talking here?
I believe that's where the Crystal Spa.
Crystal's right. Okay,
yeah.
Right. And there's still nothing going on where the old diner used to be that I know of. There was something proposed.
No, I believe that proposal did not.
Dan, if you guys can hear me, sorry if I'm interrupting. I don't know if you guys can hear me. I can't hear anything on this end, nothing. So Dan, I'm going to let you wrap up this segment. So
Sure.
if you see me here just motionless, that's why.
Okay.
I just can't hear anything.
Okay. Quickly, I'll say, Samantha, that South Broadway stretch, Turf and Spa, Crystal Spa, and so forth. those are I would view as forewarned properties. They're abandoned for the most part, it seems. I guess it's time for something new, and I'm not saying I get blanket blessing as a citizen to whatever they put in there, but I think any new development might be an improvement in those stretches.
Yeah, and again, not opposed to new development. It's just how does it fit in with the context of our downtown, and that's what we're mostly concerned with. It's about managing that growth in a way that's sensitive to our community.
Excellent. Thank you for coming on. We didn't give you a whole lot of notice. You did. You came on for us. Thank you, and we hope to have you on in the future.
Yes. Well, thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.
All right. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, well, we lost Robin again.
Uh-oh.
Hopefully she'll be back on in a minute. Perhaps she will edit this out, and I am alone. Okay, hopefully, folks, Robin will join me again. I've got the show to myself. I finally got rid of my nagging co-hosts, and I get to have the show I've always wanted for my own thing. But I've got no guests. I've got nothing to talk about. I'm relying on Robin for my agenda. I can call people in the outer office in to join me here to talk about things.
I mean, Dan, can you hear me?
I can. I'm having a blast here. This is.
I mean, do you see that it's only a picture of you up right now? It's kind of hysterical.
I kept telling them I finally got my wish and got rid of my two nagging co-hosts.
I don't know what's going on. Add the stream.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
I can see you and hear you.
Okay, you can see me and hear me. Woo woo. Okay, let's see. Can you hear me now?
I can.
Okay. All right. This is going to take a considerable amount of editing the show.
I guess so, but still.
Was that too awkward that you finished out with Sam on your own?
I was a one-man comedy act for 30 seconds. You might have to keep that in there.
Okay. So welcome back. We had a couple technical difficulties there. We are amateurs, although I think we're getting better, a little better every week, right, Dan?
We are finding our sea legs more and more each episode. That's kind of how I view it.
Yes. And I'm pretty sure the Russians just did not like what I was saying, which is why they cut that audio off. Fast and Furious. I'm on their watch list now. Anyway, should we get into some cheers and jeers? We didn't do any last week, but I think we need some this week.
Okay, I'll kick it off. A very soft jeer, I guess. I wish we just had Samantha Bosshart on from the Saratoga Preservation Foundation, and really what she said to me earlier, and she said it somewhat on the show, was, with just a few changes, we could actually get behind this project at 269 Broadway. And they have, because it really looms over the sidewalk, it looms over the street, it looms over Spa Cadlick, and they've had a few what I would view minor adjustments that would make this much more palatable to them. And they're thank God we have such a strong preservation foundation in the city to look after those things, because there's some cities you go to that don't have the beauty of Saratoga, and it's, in many cases it's because of poor planning. So a very soft jeer, if you will, to the developers there for not listening to those that care about this city and love this city. And again, we offered to them to be on the phone, or on this show, I should say. As of an hour and a half ago, they didn't get back to us, but if they do get back to us, or they did, and I have a voicemail waiting, we will have them on in a future show. A cheer, and we touched on this with Maddie and Mayor. Everyone that's helping in Ukraine, but also kind of an overlap cheer, our downtown business people, right? And I don't want to just focus on downtown. I mean, business people everywhere, they're keeping the economy going in this county and so forth. But the downtown core, let's face it, I know I speak for you, Robin, our hearts are really there at the downtown core. Those that keep I mean, you have guests coming from out of town. I have guests come from out of town. They are awestruck by our awesome downtown, which gets awards all the time. Best downtown, best top 10 downtown, best top 10 Broadways, best top 10 sidewalks in America. It's because of these business owners and the people, the patrons, the customers, like those of you watching us that patronize them. So don't forget, Amazon's cheap and simple and quick, but don't forget the downtown core.
Although I'm going to say, if you can't get what you need downtown, we still do collect sales tax from Amazon. So, look first downtown always, but just know that you are also contributing to our sales tax base by going on Amazon. But that should always be a last choice, not a first choice, right, Dan?
Right, exactly.
All right. So you got your cheers and jeers in.
Yes.
All right. Well, I'm going to be I just feel like I'm a little more vicious with my cheers and jeers than Dan is.
You're more national. You're international, which allows you to really go after some things.
Well, this time it's all local. So my cheer is going to be for the police department. The Saratoga Springs Police Department has been through hell over the last couple of months due to the new administration. And I just have to cheer them all day long for what they do, for continuing to show up to work when you know that you have a boss that is working so hard to destroy the morale and destroy, some of the fundamental parts of that organization. That is tough. I don't know how you walk into work every day. It's already a really difficult job, but to show up every day, wanting to protect and serve, I just have to cheer for them, loud, as loud as I can. So that would be my major cheer.
Good for you.
Thank you, SSPD. My jeer, unsurprisingly, would be the leadership of the SSPD on an administrative level, meaning the commissioner and deputy commissioner, Commissioner Montanino and Deputy Jason T2. Shame for what you're doing. I will get more into that in the next episode, but my jeer is for them because I think they have created problems that don't exist, and I think they have fundamentally really hurt the department. Again, I have not reached out to Commissioner Montanino to come on this show yet because I've quite honestly been too angry. And so maybe Dan, maybe I can give you his number and maybe you want to give him a call because I know we want to give him a fair shake and see if he wants to come on the show. But those are my cheers and jeers for the week. I just want to let everybody know if they want to get in touch with us at all, you can always send us an email. Where are we here? Send an email, comments or questions. We also want to start hearing other people cheers and jeers. If you're a Saratogian and you have a cheer and jeer, we want to share it. Let us know. Shoot us an email at info@talkingsaratoga.com. We will also be having an update from Adam from Poland shortly. But we wanted to make sure this particular part of the podcast, remained on Saratoga issues. But we are wishing lots of love and all the best to our friend Adam and all the Ukrainian refugees that he is helping. So I think that is it for the week, Dan.
Oh, great. Robin, you did a lot of work getting this up. She does the IT end of things, although I promised her I'm going to learn it. She keeps falling for that.
I don't know if I'm doing the IT very well, but we're trying. All right. Well, thank you so much, Saratoga. We will see you next week.
And folks, thank you for watching.